whacked out news. People breaking the law. Ha ha, fighting in the nude. Ha, drunk people pooping in the street. Ha ha, it's the whacked out news. So many people on meth. Ow!
Yeah, I think there's probably going to be some problems here for this Broward sheriff officer who hit a boy on a bicycle with an unmarked SUV in Deerfield Beach, and then he tackled and arrested him.
On purpose, he hit him?
Yeah, it's very intense. You know, the kid is on his bike. He's on the street, and the cop kind of uses it, comes up, and the kid kind of gets caught up in the front tire well. And then the cop jumps out of the vehicle quickly, kind of tackles the kid off of the bike. He has him in the grass, and he's trying to flip him over to cuff him. And it's other kids on bikes, and so they've got cameras. Probably, well, I don't even know what you call them now. They used to be the GoPros, but, you know, another kid is filming it. So there's actually two different angles of this video, and it looks pretty intense.
So when the cop hit the kid on the bike, was that an accident, or was he trying to stop him?
It looked like he was trying to stop him. But again, this is it's a smaller boy on a bike too. I don't know. I'm not great at ages, but I would say it's probably younger than 12, probably around the age of 10.
Wow.
Yeah. So
what did the boy do?
Well, the boy had been part of a group that was performing bike stunts and were blocking traffic. As he limped away, the deputy grabbed him, bringing him to the ground.
Oh, no.
Now, Broward Sheriff's Office is claiming the deputies were monitoring reckless cyclists disrupting traffic, and they said the deputy's vehicle made contact while maneuvering around the group. The boy was arrested, taken to a hospital, and later released with a citation. Other boys were also cited for traffic violations. But critics, including a cyclist attorney, called the deputy's actions excessive, likening the vehicle's use to deadly force. There is a bunch of outrage on social media. Some have defended the deputy, arguing the cyclists were a public nuisance. BSO stated the incident was part of a broader trend of dangerous juvenile cycling, and I don't minimize that these kids are nuisances on bikes, and you really have got to see the video, I think, to understand the energy of it.
Because all I'm seeing is a 4-second clip. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what all the details are in this story. It's the first time I'm seeing it.
But even if the kids are a nuisance, which I'm sure they were, I'm sure they were blocking traffic, and I'm sure they were doing the wrong thing. You can't hit a kid with your police car on his bike on purpose.
It looked pretty intense, and it looked like it was, a maneuver where there could have been a more serious injury. Well, Penelope said, how else was he supposed to make the kid stop? Using your vehicle to stop a kid on a bicycle of that age, is that the right move? I guess that would be the ultimate question, and I don't know what the protocol is, but I do know when people see it, and what you're seeing, a lot of the stuff on social media right now is just the view that the kids had from their GoPro cams.
Do they show what was building up to that before?
No, the clip starts pretty much with a split second before the deputy uses his vehicle to kind of hit the kid on the bike. And the bike kind of gets caught up in the front tire of his vehicle.
Oh my
so
gosh.
He can't continue riding, and then he gets out quickly, gets the kid, tackles him off the bike into the grass, flips him over, and the kid's like, no, and the kid's obviously fighting and seems a little traumatized, and that might be part of it too. You get that from another one of the cyclist angles. So there were a couple kids with cameras on there, and that's probably what they were doing. I mean, they probably were causing a ruckus, and
Sure.
I guess that's going to be the debate here. Was he doing everything according to how it should have been done, given the circumstances?
Well, I've heard police officers talk too. There's a technique they try to do to stop somebody if they think that there's something going on. Again, I don't know the details, and I have been a fool on the microphone before saying stuff that I don't have the details on. I just want to make sure I know the entire story.
And I am sure the kids were doing something that warranted police action.
Sure.
I don't doubt that.
They were probably blocking traffic, hot dogging.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I've seen people use bikes in a very menacing way and harass people, where people would absolutely think they're either going to get mugged or hurt. Did any of that happen before? I would like the details.
Yeah. One person said hit is a bit of an over-exaggeration. The cop used his front left tire to stop the kid on his bike. Yeah, but you could call that contact. So I guess hit, contact, whatever, using the same word. It's all semantics, right? Angie said, unless the kid had a gun and was an actual threat to somebody, there was no excuse for a cop to use their vehicle to make that stop.
Does Angie know the details of that?
All you're seeing is just that one visual, and that's it. And if you were, for instance, the chief, could you look at just that part of it to say, yeah, the way you used your car with a kid that age on a bicycle to get them to stop, that might have been excessive? And that is the ultimate question. And look, that's going to be for them to decide, and we'll see where this goes. I think it's still at the beginning, and there will be a lot of people asking some questions.
These things are so annoying because it's a 4-second clip and everyone gets mad and everyone starts a fight and,
Right, you don't know what was happening before.
Everyone thinks they have all the details of everything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, so if you're watching KVJ TV, you could see that clip that we had posted there. And when I asked the question, was the deputy's actions excessive? 60% of people said yes. So it's a 60-40 issue. So it depends upon how you are. So, look, if that is protocol on how it's to be done, then, you might say to the kid, FAFO, right? So we'll see. I'm sure people are not done debating.
Oh, no.
One person texted and said, yeah, I actually saw these exact kids about 5 minutes before you see the video that you were showing. There was about 50-plus kids riding down Hillsborough Boulevard going east, but all were staying in one lane with an officer driving right behind them. But once they turned onto 2nd Avenue, the cops blocked the road, and then that's when the clip went down. So almost it sounds maybe like they were possibly herding the kids into a place where they could address whatever was going on, and there's no comment as to how they were riding on their bikes at that point. Another text says, these kids are super disrespectful and disruptive in the streets. A mom's group post the day before this happened stated that 3 boys on bikes were darting in front of cars out here in Wellington, and one of them apparently threatened her life for shouting at them.
Oh, my.
They need to learn, especially if parents are not parenting. I see these jerky kids all the time. Somebody else said, I had an incident in my old neighborhood where kids were riding on their bikes, and one kid ran right up in front of my car and next to my car, missing it by an inch, and then looked at me dead in the eye. I was so scared, and they do it on purpose. They terrify these drivers. I don't blame that officer. I think he did the right thing.
This sounds like they're talking about Children of the Corn.
It's flipping on the kids.
Yeah.
Well, 50 kids with that's a lot of that could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm sure they did have that pack mentality too, and they're just acting like hooligans.
Josh in Jensen Beach said, yeah, I've been hit by a car on a bike, and the car was coming to a stop. That deputy was clearly trying to disable the bike and possibly knock the kid off of it. But at that speed, I could only imagine if the kid's leg had gotten caught on the tire or the bumper or under the tire, that something extremely bad could happen. I mean, they're kids. I believe the best way to handle those mass police groups or bike groups is to have a vehicle or vehicles fall at a safe distance, and then once all come to a stop, you then
buy them an ice cream cone. Oh,
yeah. But there are a lot of people that got a feeling about this.
On both sides.
Yeah.
Well, you also got to remember, too, kids can be dangerous as well. Just because you're a kid doesn't mean you can't hurt somebody.
Sure.
Absolutely. You're right.
Yep. So a lot of feels on that. We'll see how this story plays out. I imagine there'll be more today that we'll have to be able to talk about for tomorrow's KVJ show.
This is how we do. It's the KVJ show.